Hey, you going, YouTube cats? Today's lesson, man, we're going to talk a little bit about improvisation, or improvising, you know what I mean? What improvisation means, man, is to just play in the moment, create stuff in the moment. So how do we do that? Well, first thing is, man, everything is based on chord progressions, man, whether you like it or not. And if we start with one chord, it's a good way to start, you know what I'm saying? So depending on what style of music you're playing, if it's jazz, funk, rock, blues, hip hop, heavy metal, it don't matter, man, because the one thing that binds everything together is five basic chord families, man, five basic chord families. And your first is a major chord. And if we look at, say, an A major chord, okay, and we think of that A major sound. There's a lot of Horace Dung, man, taught about, chord scales, man. Forget that chord scale business, because sometimes it won't work for a certain style of music. You see what I'm getting at? So if I'm playing blues, I don't want to hear this sort of sound, It doesn't work for bluesmen. It doesn't sound bluesy, you know what I'm saying? So what I would do is I would use something like, maybe this type of sound, Okay, that's more bluesy, you see what I'm getting at? Now, if I use that A major chord again, it's a major chord. You get what I'm saying? We use a major sound in the scale, we got this thing happening. It's more of a major sounding scale, man. That would be more suited to, say, pop music, if you're doing something like... Okay, so, you can see that this chord scale theory stuff, man, is just nonsense, because it depends on what style of music you're playing. You get me, right? So you can't just say, okay, let's just use that scale when we come to a C minor 7 chord, A C minor 7 chord, you might be playing a style of blues, or you might be playing a funky style, For funk, man, I'll be using minor pentatonic scale, blues, flat 5 in there, you know what I'm saying? In C minor 7, if I'm playing a jazzy style, I might throw a couple of chromatic notes in there amongst the pentatonic scale, A little bit of blues, minor scale, see that? Relative to the E flat major, Pretty much like Jimmy Page did, and since I've been loving you, See, there's different sounds, man, that's more of a jazzy blues piece of music, Okay, so forget that chord scale business. That will work over, any chord, like a C minor 7, let's play this C minor 7 chord scale, you know, G major 7, G major. It's not going to work for a certain style. So it comes back to what type of music you're playing. What does it feel like, you know? If I'm playing sort of a bossa, you know, Brazilian rhythm in the key of G. Okay, so there's a connectedness there. We're in the key of G major, you see what I'm saying? G sharp diminished chord, we got A minor 7, B flat diminished, B minor 7, B flat third in chord, A minor 7 chord, D7 flat 5 chord, G6 9, G6 or G major 9, G6 9, G major 7. Well, it's good old G major. Okay, but that doesn't work too well in the jazz. You see I'm getting that? So the major 7 extended harmonies. Okay, you need that. You need that 1 3 5 7. Okay, the notes are the 1 3 5 7, G B D, F sharp. Okay, in the key of G. Okay, so if we're to, you know, jam over that, man, you know, we could maybe perhaps play a G major scale. Sounds okay, you know, but with jazz music, man, you want to kind of give it more color, you know. And not only jazz, man, and we're talking about jazz, there's no such thing really as, you know, particular jazz. Jazz means to improvise, man. It's an improvisational style of music, you know. It's known for its improvisation, you know. So, you know, we can improvise in blues, we can improvise in funk, classical. I mean, before 1850, every musician was an improviser, man. If you weren't an improviser, you weren't a musician, you know. So you had the 4 things, man. Improvisation, you arranged, then you composed stuff, man, and then you interpreted it, which means you could either perform it, write it down, or get other people to perform it, you know, interpret your music. So the whole thing about being a musician, man, is 4 things, you know. You got to have those 4 things if you really call yourself a musician. If you're just reading other people's music, you're an interpreter, you're a performer. That's fine. Nothing wrong with it. But you can call yourself a musician. You see what I'm getting at? So you got to know how to improvise, man. You have to learn to do that. It's the first thing you do. You know, a little kid gets on a piano, man. You get that little child is to make up some little phrases, some little melodies on those white keys, see? You tell, don't touch those black keys, darling. You know, just play the white keys. So, you know, they'll go on the piano, they'll go... They don't realize it, but you know, that was the key of A minor, you know, because it resolved on the A notes. So you got to start there, you know. Okay, that progression I was playing, that bossa, the key of G, you know. Okay, before we played it with just a G major scale. Okay, so really in the jazz world, man, you want to try and get a little bit more interesting. Like I said, man, don't make your playing boring, man. Don't be boring, okay? So on that G major 7, we might do, you know, a G major 7 arpeggio. You know? On the diminished, we do, you know, diminished arpeggio, you know? And the A minor 7, we do the A minor pentatonic scale. The B flat diminished, okay, same thing again. Diminished arpeggio on the B minor 7, minor pentatonic, on the B flat 13, where we do the mixolydian. A minor 7, A minor pentatonic, A minor scale, and then, you know, on the D7 flat 9, just run down chromatically until you get to the G note, you know, that's it. Okay, so you remember chromatic means color, okay? So you color your music, man. Whatever you're doing, you color it. Okay, so that means, if I'm playing whatever style of music, try different things. You'll know when it's right, man. You'll know when it's right because it just works. When we go back to, say, for example, we're looking at chords, man, that's a G major 7, Okay, we call it G major 7, but the main thing you got to look at chords, man. When you're looking at chords on the guitar, you're not thinking, don't think about this big shape. 1, 2, 3, 4 notes, all just 4 notes, You think, oh, extended harmony, yeah, sure, yeah, okay, it's great, but have a listen to it, Now that's the major. You got the minor, okay, you got the dominant, okay, you got diminished, you got the augmented, or demented, okay, so that's your 5 families, and you learn to kind of, within whatever style of music you're playing, and you use those chords, wherever they're used, you'd start to think how it's going to work, your phrasing is going to work within the style of music you're playing, okay? So it's about a matter of developing your ear, man, both ears, see that? 2 ears, okay? And develop those ears so you can hear the difference, and you do that by listening to a lot of great players, if you're going to listen to a lot of blues, want to be great blues players, go right back to the great blues players, man, Listen to Ray Charles, man, on the keys. He's fantastic, man, These guys are great players, man. They're true musicians because they can improvise. See what I'm getting at, Now, another thing with the chords I was saying before, if we look at 4 notes at once, that's pretty boring, man, because all we're thinking about is just, shapes, Okay? You really got to listen to what you're doing. That's the important thing. Now, we come back to this thing now, we got, say, 4 notes, okay? And we talk a lot of things about voice leading, Okay, that's important, that's really good, But to make it easier on the guitar, think of this as a G bass, and what you're throwing over that bass. You're throwing that chord, okay? So that really, if you look at it, it's actually a B minor. It's a B minor over a G. We call it a G major 7. Okay, fine. But if you start to think of what you put over this G bass, I can do an A minor 7 over that bass. See what I'm getting at now? It becomes more interesting. Your harmonies, B minor over G, A minor 7, F. See what's getting at? F minor 11 over G. Okay, you got an F triad over G, G minor triad over G. What else we got? We got a C over G, oh, a B over G. Whoa, hey, that sounds pretty cool, man. Okay, so it's like saying, okay, my major 3rd triad over the G. So G, A, B. B. So we're going to transpose that to, say, the key of E. E, F sharp, G sharp. We'd have G sharp over E, See, it's got the same flavor. You see what I'm getting at? We do an A, we got A, B, C sharp. We got a C sharp over, what we got? C sharp over E. It's the same deal. See, it's the same character of sound, So when you listen to chords, you think of the character of the sound you're listening to, We look at things like, say, the end of Blue Moon, What you're listening for is the bass notes, man, and what's played over the top of the bass, okay? So that's really important if you think of a lot of Middle Eastern music, oud music, man, And I got the E bass happening here. Okay, and that's in the style of Middle Eastern music. It's got nothing to do, man, with Western music, you know what I'm saying? And you got to get your arrogant head out of Western music, man. This dramatic teaching of music theory, man, is just one little tiny small bit of what's happening in this big wide world, see? Okay, so what a lot of academics teach, man, is this dramatic, what I call dramatic white man's music theory. Okay, man, it's great. It's only one little tiny bit, though. Okay, you got me? Now, over that same E bass note, man, what can I do? Put a minor pentatonic. Very oriental, see what I'm getting at? Okay, very different to this, man. See that? That's very Moorish, man. It's very Spanish, very Middle Eastern, you know. Okay, so, okay, against that E, what else we got, man? We got a jazz sounds, you know. So I'm getting at that, we put that G sharp over that E again, we got that nice chord, you know. Put that together with E major 7 chord. It's just an A flat triad, man, over the E, back to the E major 7, you know. This is how you got to think, man, you know. So over that E major, we must improvise a scale melody. Okay, over the A flat triad, what do we do then, man? The A flat doesn't work. You see, the A flat major scale doesn't work, man, you know, so we go back to E. Because you got the E bass there, man, that E major scale still works, man. It's the glue, man, it's what's holding together, see? That depends on your bass note. See what I'm getting at? Okay, your bass note. That's the one, man. That's the one that tickles your ear. Okay, so improvisation, man. You've got to understand chords, man, you know, and play around with chords, and you'll find that out of those 5, the major, minor, dominant, diminished, augmented, man, you know, it's going to sound good. So if we do, say, an E, let's say an E augmented, you know, over that E. That's basically it. See the A flat. That's the augmented, right? I could play the E major scale. What could I play? The whole tone scale. There it is, you know. Yeah, that works well, man, you know. You start to open your ears up, man, to a lot of different sounds, okay? So you have to just sit there and experiment, try a lot of different chord progressions, you know? That pedaling thing, man, has been used, you know, how many times? We pedal that E again, we do something like E major triad, you know, F sharp minor, keep pedaling those 2 strings at the top too, the E and the B, the 1 and the 5 in the QV, so that you got an E, and a B, right? Then we play the E major triad, partial part of the F sharp minor chord, G chord, E chord, B minor, A, G, F sharp minor, back to, and over those chords, man. If we use the minor chord, it's just a minor tonality. See, it's where we resolve, man. Okay. Okay, man. So have some fun with that, and do your homework on your chords. Try a lot of different things. Like I said, bass note.